and we're gonna talk about his journey. He's an incredible person. He's growth hacker, entrepreneur, and he's building a community of 22,000 people. I suppose there are more. And Guillermo, welcome.
Thank you so much, Sana, for having me here.
No,
It's always a
happy
pleasure.
to you. Yeah. So I have a lot of questions, and let's start from the beginning. So, can you share your story, how you started, and your journey so far?
Yeah, of course. So I'm currently living in the US, but I was born in Ecuador, specifically in Guayaquil, which is my hometown. So I lived in Guayaquil until I was like 17 years old. And then I got a scholarship to go study in Mexico at Tec de Monterrey. So I moved to Mexico and I started just like going to college down there. And then after that, I decided to stay in Mexico for a while. But while being there, I just realized that there was so much that could be done. And at the beginning, I remember that I wanted to get into like investment banking. So I specialized in finance. But during all the time that I was there, being an international student, I wasn't allowed to work during my career in college. So I was always doing internships for different companies, and that was the point which I realized maybe finance is actually not for me, and I got more into tech and just doing things that were creative. And eventually, when I graduated, my first job was at a tech company as a product manager, and I think that was the beginning of my journey.
Hmm. And how this transformation into director of startup grind happens?
Okay, so the story moves to like after staying in Mexico for almost 6 years, I started my company, and at some point, I had the idea that my company could be fully remotely,
Mm.
and that was when I moved back to Ecuador. And I stayed in Ecuador. I started another businesses, but then back in 2020, I moved back to the U.S. And while being in the U.S., I started like I would say like thanks to the pandemic, I was connecting with more communities and more things that were globally, and I wanted to help more my hometown, Guayaquil. So in 2021, I reached out to Startup Brian because I was working for a startup that was based in New York, and we were trying to come up with a partnership and just like starting to do things together. But at some point, they told me, "Hey, why don't you just join and launch a chapter?" I was like, "Okay, but I don't want to do it in the US. There are so many chapters in the US." But I was thinking like, why not Guayaquil? Why not Ecuador? And I did the whole cohort thing. You get like 3 months of preparation before like
Mm.
cohort and your license and your certificate of startup Brian. So then I had to launch in Guayaquil while being in the US. So I started like traveling a lot. Uh, so I was able to be with the community. So I remember that when we launched, you still had to wear masks because of COVID. It was 2021, and it was kind of hard. But at the same time, I remember that during the time period that I lived in Guayaquil, there wasn't a real ecosystem. We had so few like startups. There were not like any key players in town, and there was no one connecting everybody else. So it was kind of hard to be an entrepreneur back then. But then in 2021, when we launched Startup Run Guayaquil, um, I think it was beautiful because of COVID. People were more interested in funding a startup, or they were more interested in doing like online businesses and like being connected with someone else that can help you along the way. So I think that was like the starting point of our community. And we were like maybe 8 people at the beginning. And then the first event we had like 60 people, which I thought it was amazing. For me, that was success. I mean, just like having like a full event for the first time. That was it. I didn't think that it would grow as much as it did uh, to what it is now.
And can you a bit explain this 22 1,000 people. Are they from one location, one country, from Ecuador, or it's one country?
No, it's all Guayaquil. There could be
Ah,
some
okay.
people. There could be some people from different cities in Ecuador, but it's mainly Guayaquil. I would say like 99%. It's people from Guayaquil.
Hmm.
Um, but it's been a whole journey, you know. I mean, we've hosted like almost 250 events in the past 26 months. So it's a lot, almost like 10 events per month.
What do you think? Maybe you like reflect on your journey so far. Like how? I mean, when it started to grow so much, and why? Why do you think it is now so many people are in your community?
Something that's really valuable about Startup Grind is our values, our core values, like giving first, make friends, helping others. That's something that really reflects on myself and also through the people of our community. So when we launched our first event, we talked about this to these 60 attendees, and they were like, okay, this sounds pretty cool. And this also comes from the US and it's something that's globally. And they were like eager to be part of it at the beginning. And I think that no one else was trying to do the same thing at the moment. There was no one connecting startups, communities, uh, key players in the Ecuadorian ecosystem. So when we started, I mean, there were people that they were skeptical, you know, like why are you doing this? Why are you doing this for free? Why are you just helping everybody? Uh, you're not going to accomplish anything. I mean, I had a lot of detractors at the moment, but I was just like, I just want to try this once again because I already tried before through one of my businesses in Guayaquil. I mean, I was trying to build community, but maybe the whole idea that doing it for profit didn't work. And also, I mean, we were just focusing on like one particular thing. It was something so narrow that maybe didn't work. But then, like 3 or 4 years later, when we launched Startup in Guayaquil, it was different because we weren't doing this for the money, and we just wanted to help. That was our whole approach. I mean, how can I help? That was everything. And then I would say the part in which we really grew was when I started like giving away like free time in my calendar to help anyone. So even now, you can go to like our website, like starbrine.com/Guayaquil, and there you're going to find my Calendly, in which you can just book like one meeting with me for free. I mean, and I will help you through anything. Could be just like an advisement thing, or maybe you are asking me how to grow your company, or maybe you're just asking me how to like get resources or funding from VCs, and I'm just gonna help. So I remember like during the first 6 months of Startup in Guayaquil, I had like maybe 100 video coffees. That's what I call my meetings through my Calendly account for Startup. And I think that was the most helpful strategy. Just like having like a free open calendar to help anyone in the ecosystem.
Hmm. That's interesting. I suppose it's not a common thing. I mean, yeah, there is accelerators, there is different type of communities, but it's harder maybe to get there and to get the help. And some accelerators took equity and other stuff. So, okay, so let's get back to you as an entrepreneur. You mentioned like you giving away your time. How you manage that? I mean, how your day looks like, your normal day.
Okay, so for me, like Monday and Friday, it's all business. It's like I take care of my clients, I work with my teams, I have only meetings that are related to making money. Then I would say like Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in the mornings, I do all the things that I have to do on my own. And then during the afternoons, I have like my open Calendly for everyone.
Mm.
So what does one day look like? I would say like I try to wake up every day like at 6 or 7 a.m. If I do wake up at 6, I do a workout. If not, if I wake up at 7, I don't work out until the evening. So And that's one of the things I try to do, just like waking up, having a workout, having a cold shower, then drinking my first cup of coffee. I drink a lot of coffee because I like it. uh, but now, like, one of my newest habits, it's to just drink coffee until 2 p.m. and then stop. uh, but yeah, so I would say, like, working out, having a cold shower, uh, starting my day while drinking coffee and taking care of my emails, and then just like preparing for all the meetings if it is like Monday or Friday. And then during the day, I always try to follow up through everything, because like every meeting gives you more work, or every meeting turns into like a client or a new project or something that I need to delegate to someone else. So I need to like have time, like in between, to do something that could actually give me uh, like a follow-up resource. So every time that I meet with somebody, I send you something afterwards, so we can just like follow up and see
Mm-hmm.
what's the next point. And then I would say, like, after my whole working day, I just try to or work out or write something. I actually write poetry. I try to write every day. uh, I think that I write in the mornings, but actually I think I just write at the end of the day, um, because in that way I can like decompress. I can just like start, like, okay, so I had 10 hours working already. I just want to like get my thoughts into some type of, maybe my phone, maybe my notebook, and I just want to get rid of all of these like stress or all of these thoughts that I already had, and then maybe just like think about the rest of my day. So maybe that's a workout, maybe that's calling my girlfriend, maybe that's hanging out with my friends or my family. And then I love to read. So I'm one of those guys that it's like really curious. So if throughout the day you told me something, maybe I didn't have the time to look into it, but then during the night I'm gonna be just like searching, what was that, what's the website, what's the content of that idea, and if there are way is there a way in which I can do this for my company or for my community or for my own life. But yeah, I mean, I try to stick with my habits and just follow through throughout the day.
Hmm. You mentioned that you write poetry. I suppose that's something for you. It's like free writing. So when because founders, entrepreneurs, like busy people, they need to unwind somehow and to prepare yourself to sleep. And yeah, so free writing is a great tool. And for you, it's poetry. It's brilliant. So, can you share how you manage stress? Because we live in stressful environment, especially as entrepreneur.
Oh yeah, I mean, every day could be a bad day, but I have this belief in which I need to wake up every day thinking that it's going to be a great day, and that changes everything. Because even if you had a bad day the day before, then you wake up and you're feeling like this happened yesterday and it wasn't really a good day, but then you have also the new possibility to make a great day out of your new day. So that's my belief every day. Actually, I love to say that I have the power to believe in myself every day, and that keeps me motivated to do bigger things and just like knowing what's important in life. And I try to stick with it. Like every day could be a great day.
It's like, yay, I woke up.
I'm alive.
That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's brilliant. I love it. I love it so much. So, let's get back to stress. I mean, how you manage it. Share your secrets.
My secret, I mean, I would say like the best way to manage stress is to having like something that you love to do. And during that moment, could be working out, could be going for a hike, could be like writing poetry, could be just calling your dad. But during those times, I mean, I don't talk about business. I mean, at beginning, like if I'm working out for an hour, I don't check my phone. If I'm writing poetry, I don't check my phone. If I'm talking to my dad, I don't start by telling him about my awful day. I'm just like start like by just acknowledging that he's there, he's alive, and he's happy just to be talking with me. And at the end, I always decompress. At the end, I mean, that's I think that's my thing. I mean, I do something to forget about stress, but then I don't stop my day without just like telling somebody what happened to me, because then I think that problem could own me for the next day. So maybe if I'm just like talking to a friend at the end of the conversation and I say, you know what, this happened to me today. What do you think? And at the end, I don't want that person to give me the answer or just like telling me what to do. I just want to acknowledge to myself that something happened, and that's gonna be tomorrow's problem. But it's
Mhm.
out there now. So I would say like the best way to manage stress is to making these problems real, because sometimes as a founder especially, you try to say like, I'm not going to take care of that today, but eventually it's going to sum up, you're going to have so many problems all together. And I think that's when people burn out, or they decide to like quit what they're doing, because I realized I come out to a day in which I have like 246 problems all together, and it's way too much. But if you take care of a problem like every day, it's gonna be easier.
Yeah, small steps,
Small steps.
and especially when this moment when startup find this product market fit, and it became grow and like nice problem to have, right? But actually,
A hot
operations
problem.
wise, it's gonna be crazy, and it's gonna be crazier and crazier and crazier. You need to hire people, you need to like build processes and so on. So you just cannot afford to postpone any problems solving. So yeah. And as we started to discuss problem solving, how do you approach problem solving in your business?
So one thing that I love to do is to deconstruct everything. So let's say you want to run a marathon. Okay, so it's gonna be a huge effort, and you're probably not going to pull it off in your first try. But the way in order to approach that problem or that situation is just, okay, so maybe I'm just gonna run a mile every day. And then maybe when I feel ready, I'm gonna start running 2 miles or 3 miles or 4 miles. And eventually you're gonna get better at running, but also you're gonna think about your nutrition and your like sleeping habits and what else you can do in order to perform better for the marathon. And that's something that you can only figure out if you deconstruct the problem. So you have this big problem. So maybe that's a month of work. But how do you get this to become like 2 hours every day? And that's the best way to like foster innovation and also solve something.
Mhm. Yeah. But what about how you choose what problem to solve?
Okay, so we do have like a methodology in which we try to like come up with every idea that could possibly solve the problem, and then we try to like break up these ideas into two, maybe like idea but maybe not possible, and actually work to like the beginning, like the first ideas, the ones that are just like really cool. Maybe try to implement them, but not in the hard way. So how is the easiest way in which I can implement these cool ideas? But they are probably not gonna solve the problem, and they're probably not gonna make you money. But then the ideas that are actually going to solve the problem or make you money are the ones that you need to prioritize. Okay, so which one's first? And what do I need in order to take care of this idea? And then it's going to be maybe you need a team, maybe you need knowledge, maybe you need money or resources or whatnot. So which one is the first that you can solve in order to get to the next step and the next step? So we break down everything, and we take care of steps, we take care of creating a process for every problem. And then we also try to like having like sprints every week in which we can talk about this. Okay, so I already tried these 10 cool ideas. It didn't really take me time in order to implement them, because they could be like colors, they could be like names, they could be just sending an email to somebody, which are pretty easy. But then on the other hand, you have like the big situations that you really need to take care of in order to manage the problem. And that means you need to follow up with everything you're doing. So you need to like have a journal. And we in Spanish we call this like bitácora, but it pretty much means journal, in which you like try to document everything that you've done and all the steps that you've been through in order to like share it with the rest of the team, and then we can just like get more ideas out of it and then come up with the perfect solution. And at the end, what we do is that we create models like funnels, like customer journey maps if it comes to like getting customers, or even like flywheels. Flywheels is one of our best things to do, because we're trying to like, okay, so we have this problem, then we created this process, then we launch it and we are executing it, and when it's working we realize, okay, so how can we automate this, how can we do this every day? And that's the way in which we work.
That's nice. Yeah, automation, it's important part of our life now, because anything that you can automate, you should. Otherwise, you're going to be slower and not so effective. So, what mental strategies do you use to stay focused, to stay on your peak performance?
I don't know if people do this, but I mean, I keep journals like for everything. I mean, I have so many. I mean, I could show you like tons. But maybe when I'm like in a big problem or situation in which I don't see a way out, I just go through my notes, and not necessarily notes about the problem, but could be anything else. And in that way, I can go back to Guillermo's like thoughts of 2021 or 2020 or like a month ago, and just see his ideas back then, and maybe trying to figure out how I'm doing this right now. And something that I really find helpful is that when I write things about what I'm doing, eventually I come up with the solution through the process. Or maybe I just like write down like a checklist, like something that I need to do these 10 things for May or June, and then it's probably August and I already did those things, but I didn't realize I did them already. And at that point I get like a boost of confidence, and I feel like, oh well, but I'm actually having progress, so that's a great thing. So I think that one of the best ways to have like my mind like all together would be like just like sticking to the process and just like giving myself all the acknowledgement that I need, like going back to my previous thoughts and just like working out what worked through the process, and just like giving myself my own confidence in order to manage the next problem.
That's very interesting thing, because this what you mentioned, like reading your journals, it's like reflecting, and also it's great, as you mentioned, acknowledging yourself. It's boosting our motivation. It makes us happier, and it's great actually to reflect on each week. It's like at the end of the week you're reflecting what's going on and so on. It makes our life much better. I must say. So you mentioned that you are doing some sports. So can you share a bit more how you spend your life outdoors, or you go into the gym? What you do in terms of physical health?
I mean, back in the day, I used to play like a lot of sports, like soccer, football. I used to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, CrossFit, anything. I mean, if you invited me to do something, I'll be there. But now, I mean, probably after COVID, I just decided that I'm just working out at home. So maybe one day I go for a run. Maybe another day I just work out in my garage. I mean, I have like dumbbells and like a barbell and whatnot. So I just do like quick workouts in order to like stay focused. And something that I love is just like the whole idea. I mean, I don't need to be like shredded or to be like overly fit. I mean, I don't really care about that. But I think about this as a healthy factor. I need to be healthy in order to perform better every day. So something that I managed to tackle is just like, I don't need to work out for 2 hours every day. I did that when I was in college. I did that like maybe 10 years before. like working out every day 2 hours. It's time consuming. But now I just like try to work out for 20 minutes every day. And I mean, like every day, even on Sundays and Saturdays, just like 20 minutes, because that's also a resource in order to manage stress. I mean, for 20 minutes, I'm not gonna look my phone. For 20 minutes, I don't need to like answer a call. I don't need to be in a meeting. I don't need to do anything but just like myself all together during those 20 minutes. And if I do this every day, that also give me the advantage in the days that I'm not able to work out. Maybe one day I'm traveling, so I didn't have the time to work out. But I think like if you want to stay healthy, like don't miss out 2 days of workouts. I mean, you can stop working out one day, but maybe not 2 days, like in a
Yeah.
sequence. So if I have the idea of working out every day, Monday through Sunday, even if I miss one day, I'm gonna feel good about myself. Okay, I actually work out 6 days out of 7, so it's fine. Or even if you work out 5 days out of 7, it's fine. But I have this idea of working out every day, 20 minutes per day.
Yeah, it's actually great for your mental health and your physical health, and even if you're stuck, for example, you're doing some boring stuff, uh, you can just do short workout, like 7-minute workout. I suppose there is application. By the way, when you work out, what does it mean? I mean, what exactly are you doing? You do strength exercises, or you have some cardio? You mentioned that you do this at home, right?
Yeah. So uh, when I was in college, I got this certification as a CrossFit trainer. So
Mm.
I know a lot of things in order to like come up with a workout and how to like prepare my month or my whole workout agenda. Uh, so I try to stick with it. So let's say that one day it's all gonna be body weight. Maybe the next day it's gonna be body weight gymnastics, and then the next day it's gonna be body weight gymnastics and
I see.
uh, like weightlifting, and then I start again. So maybe the fourth day it's not gonna be body weight; it's gonna be just gymnastics. So I try to like mix it up every day, so it's not boring and it's not like
Mm.
repetitive. And I just try to do it like on my own. And some days, I mean, I don't want to do what I had planned, and I just do something else, or maybe I just decide to go for a run. Uh, I remember that I used to run a lot. I mean, I used to be on the track team of my college. I remember that I used to run like 2 hours every day, maybe 3 hours every day. And that's really time consuming. But now maybe just going out for a run for 20 minutes, it's enough because I get the chance to just like see the neighborhood, see people walking around or just like strolling with their kids and whatnot. So that's really nice too. So maybe if one day I don't feel like working out with weights or with gymnastics or doing something like that, I just go for a run and just like I can also decompress from my workouts.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, I suppose many times we are building too much pressure about how we look like and how we should look like and what we should do and what we shouldn't do and so on. It's weird because actually because of cortisol, because of this stress, people became more like they gain weight and they become were they're not healthy about because of that. So it's nice when you have 7 minutes a day. It's nice when you have 15 minutes a day. Just just do that. That's it. It's your choice. You can find 7 minutes, you can find 20 minutes. It's harder to find 1 hour, for
Yeah,
example. Yeah,
exactly.
and especially when you're not at home, when you need to go somewhere to train for a gym, for example. And I know in States there is a big problem with that. Sometimes you need to drive to like an hour or
Yeah,
so.
I don't like that whatsoever. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't like driving to a gym because it's really time consuming. I mean, you need gas in your car, you need the time to drive, then you need to like have the time to shower somewhere else, or maybe when you go back, and then there's
Yeah.
traffic in between. And I think that's something that I mean it's fun if you want to meet new people, and just be surrounded by people that are doing the same thing. Even I think this actually works when you don't have like the habit of working out. I mean, so you need the pressure of more people working out around you, so you feel like, okay, so I mean they're doing it, so I need to do it. But at some point, if you actually get the habit of working out like frequently or every day, you realize you don't need the motivation of other people working out around you. So at that point, I mean, maybe just going to a gym, it's not worth it, at least not for myself. I mean, I haven't
Yeah.
gone to a gym, I haven't gone to a gym since, I would say, 2019. So it's been
Hmm.
4 years without going to the gym. And this is funny because maybe like a month ago, I was with Startup Grind's CEO, and he was like, "Hey man, we were in Ecuador for a conference, and he was like, "Hey man, can I go to the gym like during the conference?" I was like, "I mean, yeah, you could, but why would you want to go to the gym? You're only gonna be in Ecuador for like 24 hours. I mean, if you actually go to the gym, it's gonna take you 2 hours, and then you won't be able to like be part of the conference or hang out with us." But then I realized maybe for him, going to the gym is what he needs to do in order to perform better at the conference, or making connections, or just being uh, right there, like enjoying the moment. So maybe like the things that work for me not necessarily works for everybody else. And maybe for him, just like being away gives him the chance to work out, because probably for him, he has 4 kids, so maybe it's harder for him to find time while staying at home to work out. so
Yeah.
so my point being, like, you cannot like get my habits and do them. You need to find your own.
Yeah, and what's works best, and I have an interesting case about this workout stuff. Um, I worked with the founder of tech company, and he had like crazy schedule, and he said to me like, I really really want to find time and motivation to go and run, for example. And what I said to him is like, okay, you need to put on your workout clothes and get to sleep. And in the morning, when you get up, yeah, you look weird, but you go out and run. And he did it for several days, and then he just preparing the clothes, like going to sleep normally, but then he started to prepare clothes and then go to like making habit through this. And we started with this weird stuff like, okay, you need to take your workout clothes, take it on and sleep with it, but you need to find easiest way. I mean, because we always talk to ourselves like, I don't have time, I'm so tired, I maybe tomorrow, and so on. So you need to shut up and do the easiest part. 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, whatever. Just start to do anything. So yeah. Okay, let's get back to tech part. Because we can talk about all of this all the way, every day, and so on, but we have a little bit of time. So how you staying updated, because you have your business, you have Startup Grind, and helping your community. How you stay updated with everything in terms of tech advancement and everything else? How you manage to find time, and what is your tips and tricks on that?
Okay, so I want to start by saying that I don't actually watch the news. I
Mm.
try not to. I mean, I have a TV right there and at the living room, but I don't watch the news. And even when it comes to social media, maybe I'm not like following up through everything. But something that really helps me is the idea of just like talking to more people. So maybe every day I have meetings with my team. Maybe every day I call my girlfriend or my dad. Maybe every day I have interviews like this, or maybe I just like talk to somebody within the community, and then they give me ideas or they tell me what's going on. So maybe my trick is just like uh, having conversations more often, and then that's what give me the power to have more knowledge. Because in that point, you're going to tell me like, hey, maybe this happened with this company. And now I'm curious. Now I want to like dig into it and search the whole news and what happened, and how is this gonna uh, disrupt my business, or how can this like be implemented in one of my clients. So I think that that's my trick, just like having great conversations with all type of people and just giving them the chance to share their story.
Hmm, that's interesting. All right. So my question is maybe most important. What advice would you give to anyone who want to start and grow and build the great community?
Oh my God. I mean, communities are hard. I mean, I would say like even communities are harder than startups, because maybe you're not going to make money at the end, or maybe that wasn't the purpose of your community. With a startup, you're always thinking about like making money, you live out of your idea, uh, providing jobs and whatnot. But through a community, it's a little bit harder, because when you start, you don't have like a clear path of what you need to do. But something that you can like start doing is just like, okay, what's my purpose? What do I want to accomplish on my own? And even going back to the example of this friend of yours that wanted to go out for a run, maybe if you don't have the motivation to run, you need to create a community of people running. And that's your purpose. I want to feel motivated every day to go out for a run. And in that point you can create everything else. Okay, so that's my purpose, and I want to share with other people. There's definitely gonna be more people with the same problem. They are also looking for the same purpose. So the next step is just like, how do I find them? So okay, so you have your purpose, then you know who you are, so you have your values, and then you need to find the next people, the next person, the next guy that wants to be part of your journey. And in that point, you've created a community. And then I say that I always think that a community starts when you have three people. Okay, because it's really easy to find one people to tag along, but then getting two, it's a little bit harder. But once you have three people, it's easier to become 6, 12, 24, 100, 1,000. And the difference between startups and communities is that startups are looking for growth. Communities not so much. Communities, I mean, it doesn't really, I mean, you don't care if you have 2 million people in your community or if you have 2,000. Maybe 20 is already success. So that's something that you need to keep in mind. I mean, there's a lot of people like, oh, you have a community of 22,000 people. I mean, yeah, it's really cool. But maybe we could have 22 millions, or maybe 200, it's enough. Because the whole idea of a community at the end is, how can you help them and how can they help you back? So if you're starting a community, I would say like, just have like a clear idea of what's your purpose. And after that, just start talking about it to everyone else. Hey man, I want to start running community, uh, because I want to run better. I want to run every day. I want to feel the company of someone else with the same problem. And you tell this through a date. You tell this to someone else through a party. You tell this to the people you work with. And that's the way to start a community. Just like have a clear purpose and start talking about this every day.
Now many corporations trying to start communities. What do you think about it?
I mean, actually, a community is the best marketing strategy that you could ever have. And it really pays out, because I mean, like digital marketing, social media, email marketing, even I don't know, AR and whatnot. Those, all of those things, they could work or they couldn't. I mean, they could be like nice ideas, but at the end, they're really expensive. Maybe you need to hire an agency, or you need to have your own team, and then you have to like mix up like growth, marketing, sales, and everything else. But when it comes to community, you already have the customers right there. You already have your members. You already have people that trust you. And if you give them, I don't know, I mean, I want to sell you a hat. I mean, I love my community, so of course I want to have the hat. So if it is a service, I mean, probably you have like a SaaS company, and you provide I don't know, let's say a scheduling company service kind of thing. So people want, maybe your community is all about managing time. So if you're somebody that wants to learn more or be maybe more organized, and then through my community you sell me the software to like manage my time better, of course I want to have it. So that's my whole point. I mean, communities are amazing because they get you to what you want to accomplish. So if you want to increase sales, of course start a community. If you want to be a better runner, of course start a community. If you want to be surrounded by founders, start a community. Because then you have this idea of you are the average of the people that you hang out with. It's the same idea with communities. I mean, you want to be better, you want to sell more, you want to have more knowledge. Just invite people that can give you that thing that you're searching for. And yeah, when it comes to business, communities are great. I mean, it's a great way to sell. But I would just add that uh, you need to be real. You need to be like actually care about your community, because if not, at some point it's gonna break.
Of
I mean,
course.
people are gonna realize, okay, but they invited me to this community because at the beginning they just want me to sell a subscription, or they want me to pay $1,000. So, but having said that, I think that communities shouldn't be free. Okay, so maybe if you're starting a community for your own or for your business, they shouldn't be free all the time. I mean, they can start with a free trial. They can start with something that you can just like go to the events, or maybe you can go to the video call every week. There should be like some free factor within your community, but they shouldn't be like free overall. Because the thing about the community is that it needs to make money at some point. If you want it to grow, if you want to have like hats, if you want to like improve your marketing, if you want to have like a platform for your community, so you need to make money in so in order to create like revenue streams, you need to think about how could this idea of a community make money in the future. Because if you start with a free community, it's always going to stay as a free community. And at the end, if you decide not to be the leader anymore, who's going to take care of it? But maybe if you're making money, you will never quit.
Yeah. And you
You
can
will
hire
keep,
people.
and you can
Support.
hire people.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So I mean, I talk about this a lot because people are like, hey, I want to start a community. I have like 20 free hours every month, so I'm gonna do this, do that. I'm like, sure, that's a great idea, but maybe stick with that idea for the first month. Then the next month, at least charge for one of your hours, or try to sell something, or come up with like the freemium subscription of your community. There should be something that could allow you to make it grow through time.
Hmm.
Because if not, like I would say like 99% of communities, they die out because of the leader. And I would say maybe not so much about resources and money, but because of time. So at some point, maybe your job is better than your community, or you're making more money through your job, or you have like another business or a startup or whatnot. So then you decide like, I don't have more time for my community anymore, and I'm gonna stop doing it. And then it dies out. But if you're making money off your community, even like a small amount, maybe just like, I don't know, $100 every week, that's something that gives you like the whole idea of, yeah, but I don't want to like forget about these people. I don't want to like uh, stop doing it. And maybe you just say, well, I have $100 every week. Maybe someone else could take care of this for that amount of money, and that's all you need.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Thank you so much. You have incredible energy, and I can see how you build this community. You are wonderful person, and thank you. Thank you for your time and for this sharing. And thank you everyone who's watching now and who's going to be watching later. And have a great day. This is the last interview this year. And I see you in January with more wonderful guests. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.